What's going on, everybody, and welcome to J Sports Seattle. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the Mariners, but this time with a calmer mind and try to be a little bit more neutral and objective. Considering last night's video, I was basically telling all the fans, don't show up to games. That might have been a little out of pocket for me. Not gonna lie, I will say that now. You should never ever stop supporting your team, whether you go to games or just rooting for them. You should never ever stop doing that, no matter how bad it is. Just goes to show how loyal of a fan you are. So definitely do not take what I said yesterday about not showing up to games with to heart, because I'm really just saying it because I just want the team to do well and our owner sucks. So but today I'm just going to be talking about the Mariners and just try to talk about everything, especially with some news going on. Player just got put on waivers, and I'll get to that. That'll be the first thing I'll talk about. So if you like the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share for more Mariners and Seattle sports content. And without further ado, let's get on with the video. Alright, so we didn't get swept. So the Mariners still have not been swept at all this season. So that I guess there's a good thing. That's a good thing to take away from this. This is huge. And I'll just read it from here. Ty France has been placed on outright waivers. So if another team doesn't claim him, he'll still remain on the team, but we will just demote him to AAA. This is huge because there are I kind of like the move because Ty France really has not done well, in my opinion. Ty France. So he's batting .223. I mean, that's really not good, and he's not batting the the all-star he was back in 2022. And that's what we wanted him to be. We wanted him to be batting .270, .280. He's batting .223, which is not good. And hopefully this is the first of many, cuts or waiver claims that we're going to be, making with some of these players, because there are some players that just do not need to be wearing a Mariners uniform anymore. Jorge Polanco, I was going to say put him on the list, but he's been heating up lately, so I want to see how this plays out. I think in his last 15, 20 games, he's batting .270, which, if he can, and he's been healthy though, that's the thing. So if he can continue to bat like this and, get his average up to .230, .240, I'm okay with that. But Ty France, yeah, he's been a disappointment all year. He had a pretty good strong start to the season, but fell off. But yeah, .223 not good. We could have had Locklear up here, and he was doing better. I feel like Luke Raley is better at first base. I feel like he's a better hitter. He clutched up with that 3-run homer today. But yeah, I mean, I feel like three things will happen. One, Luke Raley or someone else will go to first base. Two, we'll call up Locklear again, and he'll be put at first base. Or three, we'll trade for a bat like Alonso or Guerrero. I would be down for an Alonso trade. I'd be kind of against a Guerrero trade just because I know that the Blue Jays would ask for the farm, and I know that we do have it. I'm reluctant to give that up because we have a lot of young players that could really, really make an impact on this team in the future without, having to go and just give up assets and pay big bags for those guys. Just create them yourselves. So, those are one of those three things will happen. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, Ty is probably not happy about hearing about this. So he could be picked up at any moment. We could wake up tomorrow and he's no longer on the team. He'll be wearing a new uniform. He'll be on a plane to a different city, or he'll stay and we'll just send him down to the minors, which he may not like. So, but basically, we do not want him as our first baseman anymore. And I'm hoping this extends to Garver. Garver needs to go. I feel like that was just a failure. You need to take your losses there and get rid of him. He's batting 170. He's batting 100 points lower than he was last year. That shouldn't be possible, but he is. So he's got to go. Mitch Haniger's got to go. He is horrible. I like his stats are horrendous. I don't like. He's batting 200. I think in the past like 2 months, he's not even batting like 190. Like, he's horrible. He needs to go. Like I said, Polanco, he could still go, but he's been kind of playing good lately. So we'll see what happens. DH, disaster. Second baseman has been a disaster. First base has kind of been mid. We've been struggling there. Third base, we've been okay. But in terms of lineups, I also have to get to. I haven't really mentioned this, but a part of the reason why this offense is so anemic and it just seems like everyone is uncomfortable at the plate every single game is because our lineups are inconsistent as heck. One game, Julio will be batting third, the next will be leading off, the next will be batting cleanup fifth or sixth. Like, you can't have that happen. You have to have a consistent lineup. And that's one reason why Service has got to go. Like, even if people are doing bad, have a consistent lineup. See if people find their groove in that spot. Stop moving people around because it puts more pressure on them. You feel? So like but like there are just some things where like you gotta understand it's not working out. Like JP leading off, you gotta understand he's not your leadoff guy. This is like the third straight year he's been batting like below 250. He's not the guy to lead off, and DePoto's got to realize that. That's an exception because it's continued failure at him being at the leadoff guy. When Rojas was leading off, he was doing exceptionally well because he was always getting on base, whether hitting for singles or just walking, he would always get on base. JP doesn't do that. He hasn't been doing that lately. He's batting 204 last time I checked. Not okay. Not okay at all. So DePoto's got to take his L on that too, and I'm hoping. I love JP, and he has been clutch for us in multiple times, but he's just too inconsistent of a player to where the clutch moments, it doesn't matter. Because that's just one game or a couple times. We need you to consistently be on base. So JP's got to go, and we got to find someone else. Someone else has got to lead off. And I feel like anyone else you put that leads off will be better than JP. No offense to JP. It's just I get JP's great at defense, and he is, but we need offense. When you have an elite pitching staff like we do, you can afford to trade away a little bit of your infield and outfield defense for some offense. So we definitely need to put Rojas leading off. Even he's fallen off because dude keeps getting put into different spots. He can't find his groove. When he was in the leadoff spot for a minute, he was doing exceptionally well. Or in the top 3 lineup, he was doing exceptionally well. And then you pull him from that, and then he starts struggling. That's not cool. And that's on Service. That is on Service. So. But Ty France, us waiving Ty France is a step in the right direction because it could be the first of many people that we could be that we could waive. It could, like I said, McGarver could be next, Haniger could be next, Demo could be next for all I know. Demo has been trash. I'm sorry, Demo, but you have been horrendous this year. He had a really good solid. He had a really solid start to the season, but he has fallen off the tallest cliff imaginable. I have not seen this guy hit a base hit. I feel like I haven't seen this guy hit a base hit in months. It just feels like this guy is just never on base. He's got to go too. I don't know why we keep playing him. They're just guys that you are playing over guys who deserve to build. Who deserve to have a shot, like Ryan Bliss, Locklear, Clase. You're taking away playing time from these guys because you're sticking with the guys. I get that you're paying them, but they're just not working out. So cut your losses and just go to guys that you're paying them a fraction of to do the same thing, if not better. So it's come on, man. Poor managing by DePoto, and he's got to realize that. I was going to say something, but I forgot, but maybe it'll pop up. But yeah, it's just Or send him down to the minors. That's another thing DePoto has failed to do. He hasn't the guys that we have pulled up, like Bliss, like Clase. They're just sitting on the bench. They're not doing anything. What are they doing? They need playing time. So that's why I'm like, okay, I was like, as much as I was kind of against sending down Locklear, at least he'll be getting regular playing time in AAA. We're not doing that with Bliss or Clase. They're just sitting there on the bench, wasting away. Don't do that to them. Don't just have them come in for pinch run scenarios. And you see its effect on Clase. He got picked off in yesterday's game, or I think, was it yesterday's game? What I don't remember. It was one of these games. I think it might have been yesterday's game. Actually, no. Yeah, it was yesterday's game. He got picked off, and that's what happens when you're just sitting on the bench for not too long, not getting playoff experience. You kind of you're like, okay, you need to have these guys either play in the big leagues or play in the minors. You cannot just have them sitting there watching. That's just not cool. So another poor decision by Dipoto, and it's he just doesn't know how to run the team. He really doesn't. And I might sound like I'm saying the same stuff as yesterday, but it is, from all the stuff that I've said, it really shows that he does not know how to run this team. He really doesn't. And like I said, he knows how to spot pitching because he was a pitcher himself, but that's pretty much it. That's it. He can't spot hitting, and he can't run a team. Unless like I said, unless he turns it around and like trades for a bat at first base, starts, DFAing all these other guys who are not producing and not being the guys that we wanted them to. He's just going to be the guy that does not know how to run a team. So Ty France is a step in the right direction, but what are we going to do after that? Is my question. So, but like, come on, like, you cannot make this up. Home runs, we are 11th, yes, but like, a lot of these are solo home runs. They're not like with bases loaded. They're just like, and that doesn't help, and it reflects in our total runs scored. We have the third worst scoring offense in the league. We're literally bottom 3 in every major offensive category besides home runs. We have the worst batting average in the league. We are bottom 3 in on base. We were bottom 3 in on base percentage. Okay, we're tied bottom 3 in on base percentage. So yes. We are bottom 3 in slugging, bottom 3 in ops. Bottom 3 in ops. We are literally bottom 3 in every offensive category that matters. Like, RBIs, bottom 5. Like, it's horrendous. And then you just look at our pitching. We allow the worst batting average in the league, but we have the worst batting average in the league. That's just insane. Top 3 in ERA. Like, we are wasting another exceptional pitching performance by this Mariner squad. This is like the 3rd straight year of dominant pitching, and the offense just cannot capitalize. This is the worst offense in Mariners history, statistically speaking. I feel like if the Mariners have not already beaten the strikeout record in Mariners history, they're close. And we still have a lot of the season left. It's just unacceptable. And it just, Dipoto, he does not know offensive talent. He's a pitching guy. Like I said, he was a pitcher, so he knows pitching more. That's why our pitching's so good and our offense is trash. If he was an offensive guy, or was a position player, our offense would probably be better than what it is, and our pitching would probably not be as good. But that's just how it is. But it's like, what's Justin Hollander doing? His official title is the general manager. Like, why is Dipoto getting all the say in this? Like, I understand Dipoto is the president of baseball operations, but like, what does the role general manager mean for a guy like Justin Hollander? I rarely hear that guy's name. So it's like this. It tells me that guy doesn't have as much sway in decisions like Dipoto or Stanton. Obviously, since Stanton's the owner. So it seems to me that Hollander is kind of like the lowest on that totem pole. And because I don't ever hear of his name. I mean, do you guys ever hear of Hollander's name? I really don't. I really don't. I even remember recently, like, a foul ball when I think it was one of the Angels games. A foul ball went into one of the suites that Hollander was in, and the Angels announcer, he didn't even recognize him as the general manager of the Mariners. He just said, "Oh, somebody in the front office of the Mariners." If it was Dipoto, he would say Dipoto because Dipoto is easily recognized. He's the face of the Mariners front office. But Justin Hollander's not for some odd reason, even though he has the title general manager. It's just weird. So it just makes me think that Justin Hollander just does not have as much say as Stanton or Dipoto, which is just ludicrous. But yeah, we were wasting a godly pitching squad. Like yesterday, before this game, we were second in ERA. Honestly, this is interchangeable. We were just top 3. We were just one of the best pitching squads in the league, and we have been for the past few years. But we're wasting it. Like we seriously need to do better. Seriously, man. Like Dipoto, like I said, you outright waiving Francis is a step in the right direction. Can you make the right choices? Can you bring up Locklear? Can you go get Alonso or Guerrero for the right price? Can you get it done? Is my question. That's all. So that's literally it. We are literally off night and day in terms of offense and defense. And then you know what? This isn't the Mariners, but let's go to the other team I root for, the Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks and the Mariners were like partners in crimes in terms of business. We always seem to do business with each other. And as a Mariners fan, I like the Diamondbacks. And as a Diamondbacks, and as a part Diamondbacks fan too, because I live here in Arizona and I work for them, I like the Mariners. Like, it might seem weird because I like both teams, but it's just, I'm sure Mariners fans, do you answer this for me? I mean, do you really have anything against the Diamondbacks? I mean, I don't really hear you guys really having anything against the D-backs. You guys are pretty. I mean, I feel like we're like buds with each other. But like, look at the Diamondbacks. They're night and day compared to us. Look at their offense. Look at their offense. They are top 10. They are top 5, tied at 4th in runs scored in the league. They were literally top 10 in every offensive statistic. Top 10 in batting average. Top 10 in on-base percentage. Top 10 in slugging. Top 10 in ops. Oops. Top 10 in ops. They're literally top 10 in every offensive category that matters. But the thing with them is their pitching sucks. They're one of the worst teams in the league, allowing nearly 4.5 runs a game. So, like, just imagine if we had their offense with our pitching. We would be the best team in the league, hands down. Just imagine if they had their pitching with their offense. The D-backs. Or just imagine if they had our pitching with their offense. Unstoppable. Look at their records. It shows what happens when you have one of the best offenses but one of the worst defenses. And what happens when you have one of the worst defenses and the best offenses. It comes out to a mid-record. 53-48 is pretty mid. And then the D-backs are, I think, 50. They just lost to the Cubs. I think they're like 51-49 or 52-49. Mid. Like, that's just how it is. Here I can actually just look at their record. 51-49. Mid. That's what happens. Mid and then mid. So just imagine if the D-backs had average pitching. Or just imagine if the Mariners had average offense. I mean, we would be the top 2 teams in each league respectively. Because the D-backs are an amazing squad. Their offense is insane. I mean, I've literally seen it up in person. Their offense is cracked, and I'm just like sitting there every time I see them hit a base hit. And it comes like every game. Like every game, they're just getting hits on hits, and I'm just like, man. And I gotta see the Mariners get only 2-3 hits a game, but then they keep getting shelled. I'm like, man, I wish the D-backs had the Mariners pitching. Just imagine if the Mariners had an average offense. Take a look at the Chiefs. A lot of people will say, well, the Chiefs have one of the best offenses in the league. Statistically, no. Last year, the Chiefs had an average offense. They were 15th in scoring offense. But guess what? They had a top 3 defense. What do we have? A top 3 defense. Just imagine if we had an average offense. Like the Chiefs would have been, we would be a championship contender if we had an average offense. If we had the offense that of If we had the offense that of the frickin' Rockies, yes, you heard right, the frickin' Rockies, who have an average, a pretty, no, okay, maybe not the Rockies. Even then, 21st, I'd still take their offense over this offense. Come on now. Any offense is better than this one besides the Marlins and White Sox. Like, if we had the Rangers offense, if we had the Tigers offense, we would be the best team in the league with this pitching squad. It's just facts. But we don't. So, please, Dipoto, get it done. Figure out a way to at least get this. Like, last year we had a surge in offense in the second half. Same with 2022. And then in 2022 we went to the playoffs. Do that same thing. Find a way, man. Seriously. Please get it done. Stop being cheap. Go get someone. So, overall, it's just Dipoto he needs to get it together. That's it. We still are very much in this division race this year. We're not out of it. I mean, the season's far from over. It's just we need to improve this offense. We're not going to go anywhere unless we improve this offense. Look at the Astros. They DFA'd Jose Abreu, and their offense immediately got better after that. Hopefully, after us, putting Ty France on waivers and him not being our first baseman anymore, and we bring in someone else who can play first baseman both defensively and offensively, that can help spark our offense, just like the Astros did with Singleton, putting him at full-time at first base. And Singleton's been doing pretty good ever since he's been a full-time first baseman for them. It goes back to consistency as well in lineups. Look at the Astros lineups. Like, if you look at 1 through 6, even 1 through 7 at times, it's always the same every game in, game out. The Mariners lineups are always different every single game, and that's not okay because people they don't get comfortable moving around in different spots. When you have the Astros, when you have the hitters on the Astros, Altuve's always at the 1, Bregman's always at the 2, Alvarez is always at the 3, Diaz always at the 4. They solidify themselves in that spot, in that batting spot, and they get comfortable. Okay, I'm in the 3rd. My job, I'm the leadoff guy. My job is to get on base and for our sluggers like Yordan Alvarez to hit homers and drive me in. Like, we're not letting our players do that, which sucks. Except for Julio. And Julio, he's been doing okay lately because he's been in his position, the 2nd, 3rd spot, which is normally where he is. But everyone's just getting moved around. Cal's recently been Victor Robles. I saw him batting in 8th and 7th. He's now batting 2nd. But that's because he's been doing well lately. I'm gonna interrupt for a second because I know I've been I want to acknowledge that I've been ranting a lot, but there's just a lot to this team. There really is a lot to this team that needs to be talked about in terms of why we aren't successful and how we can be successful. I mean, it doesn't sound. I mean, I'm not a GM, and I'm not in Dipoto's position, but there's just a lot of things that it's just common sense. I feel like not having a guy batting 200 be your leadoff guy. I mean, that should be pretty common sense. Why would you let that happen? Constantly moving around your lineups, and that's on service. I mean, that's not on Dipoto, to be fair. That's on service. I mean, Dipoto I'm sure Dipoto, oversees that too. So I guess it is on him, but that's really service who manages that. That's just not good on service. But service has got to stop doing that. Dipoto has got to give him more help, so that way we can stop doing that. And then, it's not all on service. It's because we keep getting him crappy players who keep struggling, and we keep putting them in different lineups to try to find their footing, and they can't. So, we're just Scott's kind of like, okay, what do I do? So it's not all on Scott, but he does it too much, I feel like. But, just have us line up and stick with it. Simple. I feel like that's literally it. If we do that, I feel like our offense will at least somewhat improve. So there's just a lot going on with this offense as to why it's not good, and such as not investing in the right people, settling for cheap contracts with washed players or people out of their prime instead of going for young guys who can actually provide and probably play good defense. That's one reason. Second reason is the inconsistency in the lineups. It's just not good. So you got to stop doing that. And then obviously, like I said, and then in 3, some of our players, and then in 3, our hitting coaches suck. I don't know what our hitting coaches are doing, but they suck. So it's a mixture of a lot of things as to why our offense just sucks. It's just one of the worst in the league. And DePoto, you gotta get it. You gotta figure it out. Please figure it out, because like I said, we're still in this thing. At one point, we had a 10 win lead in the division, and we're not out of it. So, and the Rangers are right on our tail, so we can't just bow out and just say nah, because then if we finish second or third place in the division, then it just looks even worse. It looks even more bad on DePoto and Stanton and Service. It just looks more bad on them. So, like, still go for it, obviously. Like, with this pitching squad, if this offense heats up by playoff time, anything can happen. Especially with this pitching squad, with how good this pitching squad is. That's what I'm saying. I'm not like, I'm so close to throwing in the towel, but it's like, really, there's still a lot of season left. I can't throw in the towel. Like, we're not, like, there's still a lot to go, and we're not out of it. So it's just DePoto, like I said, and I'm gonna keep saying it. You gotta get it together, and just stop being cheap. Stop following what Stanton keeps telling you, and get it done. Or, and find the guys that can bat. Get the guys who can be on base. It's not always about batting average. It's about on-base percentage. So just go for those guys, please. DePoto, please just get it together. And Scott, you got to get it together too, man. Seriously, your coaching decisions have been very, very questionable, and some of them have been baffling. Like, for example, how do you choke a 7-0 lead? How do you choke a 7-run lead against the Royals? I get they're a great team, but in no way should you ever choke a 7-run lead. Just like you should never ever, just like you shouldn't choke a 10-run lead like we did to the Cubs last year. I'm never forgetting that game. Just like you shouldn't really choke a 10-game lead in the division. But here we are, in second place. Scott, like, I feel like in the long run, Scott's not our answer, but right now he will at least get us into playoff contention. So I feel like after the season, Scott's got to go. It's not all just him, but it's just it hasn't been working out. It just hasn't been working out. So there's just a lot, like, regardless how this year goes and how this year finishes, there's a lot that needs to be done on the offseason. In terms of the front office, in terms of the offense, a lot needs to be done. Seriously. Like, and I'm hoping for DePoto, this year is really an eye-opener of, dang, I really don't know what I'm doing in terms of offense. Like, I fielded one of the worst offensive units in the league with one of the best pitching squads. I got to figure it out. I'm hoping this is an eye-opener for him, even like halfway through the season. So far it is, because we have put Ty France on waivers, and potentially more players could be coming soon. So he's not, like, DePoto is not gonna not DFA a guy because they're doing bad. He will do it. I'm just hoping, can he do it at the right time? So, like I said, step in the right direction. Please get it together and keep it up and get it together. That's all I'm asking. So, yeah, I think that's all I have for this video. I'm going to be making another Seahawks video after training camp, the first official day for training camp on Wednesday, the 24th. I'm pretty excited. Football is literally around the corner. The first official football, like, organized football game is right around the corner. The Hall of Fame game between the Texans and the Bears. That's like less than 2 weeks away. So we're almost there, guys. It's a tease, but we're out of the hard part of the season. We're finally itching closer to that time of year. So stay tuned for that Seahawks video. And if you like this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share for more Mariners and Seattle sports content. Thank you for stopping by. Have a good night. And go Hawks, go Mariners, and go Kraken. Honestly, you know what? I'm gonna pull for all Seattle sports, including the Storm and Sounders. I'm not gonna leave you guys out, for all you Sounders fans and Storm fans, because I support those guys too. So just go Seattle sports, man. Go Seattle sports.